Am I the asshole for ruining someone's morning coffee? Okay, a little backstory. I get Starbucks every day for breakfast. I drive a older Audi S4, it's my dream car and I take very good care of it. I never set any cups or food on the car. Now on to asshole possible moment. So I get my usual breakfast, coffee and sandwich, and I walk outside. The guy that was in front of me in Starbucks is parked next to my car and his door is open and he's changing his sweatshirt between our cars. I wasn't really paying attention to that. What caught my eye was his $9 cold brew coffee sitting on the roof of my car. I politely asked him to remove so I could leave and go to work. His response was, he didn't want a coffee ring on his car, he'll get to it when he's done, with a shitty attitude. Mind you, he is driving a mid-size Nissan SUV that has at least 4 cup holders. So reacting to his attitude and being shitty placing things on my car, I jumped and started my car and pulled out quickly. Area was safe, parking lot was nearly empty and no incoming cars. That his coffee flew off my car, landed on the ground hitting him, remember it's cold coffee, and his car. And I head to work. Now as I drive to work I wonder, was I the asshole or was I just reacting to one? Edit. Wow, this blew up, thank you for the awards. Not the asshole. I don't care if you were driving a 2003 Cavalier. It's your car, his coffee. Edit. I don't want to seem like I'm badmouthing the Cavalier. I'm not making fun of the car, just contrasting with OP's vehicle and saying that it's the owner's car, and that's the key thing. I actually had a 96 Cavalier from 2001, 2004, and my girlfriend at the time drove an 03. My folks upgraded me to a used 04 Taurus with low miles as a college graduation present, back when used cars could be had for a steal, and they used the Cavalier for short trips until 2014. Not the asshole. First off, you don't put anything on anyone else's car. That's not his property, so he's already in the wrong. Strike 1. Then he has the nerve to say he doesn't want a ring on his car, but it's okay to put one on a stranger's? Okay, strike 2. Then he doesn't remove it when asked, which is plain rude. Strike 3. You definitely were not in the wrong. If he didn't want his coffee spilled, then he shouldn't put it on another person's car. How rude and entitled. I love that you did that, lol. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your car is your property. You didn't have to wait for him to move his cup. You already extended the courtesy by asking him to move his cup. He didn't want a coffee ring on his car, he'll get to it when he's done. The height of hypocrisy, entitlement and rudeness. Who does he think he is? I am glad you showed him a proper response. Don't feel bad. You are not the asshole. Not the asshole. He played a stupid game, won a stupid prize. He can order a new coffee inside, mild inconvenience at best. Not the asshole. Kind of esh. But I'd say it's not on you to even notice that someone else's coffee cup was on your car. Either one of you could have just put it on the ground, but this is what really seals it for me. He didn't want a coffee ring on his car, he'll get to it when he's done. So, he doesn't want a coffee ring on his car, but has no issue with putting one on other people's cars? WTF? Not the asshole. Go cross-post this in petty revenge, cause this is petty beyond belief. But you're justified, he was an massive asshole for expecting you to wait while he got dress. The entitlement of some people. Am I the asshole I did not send my ex-fiancée's belongings to her? 3 months ago, Vanessa no-showed me on the day of the wedding. She had not mentioned any disagreements and I was taken by surprise when she just did not show up at the altar. We had been living together in a rented apartment. I tried reaching her and her parents' numbers, but they had all blocked me, I believe, so I stopped trying to contact them and left the apartment after paying my share of dues. The apartment owner asked me to take her belongings with me as well, but I refused and told him to contact her himself and gave him hers and her family's phone numbers and address. I also requested him to not share my new contact details with my ex or her family. I then moved to a different city and rented a studio apartment for myself. My previous apartment owner called me soon after that to say that he had tried contacting her but couldn't reach her, so he left all her belongings at the police station. My ex came to my parents' home a week ago and found me there. She was mad at me for leaving her belongings at the apartment instead of contacting her. Apparently, the apartment owner sued her for not paying rent and going no contact. She had to pay a huge amount to compensate for it. I told her that she should not have blocked me if she was keen on getting her belongings back. Now she's ranting about me on her social media from what I heard from close friends. Maybe I should have tried contacting her more before leaving her belongings there so that she would not have been sued by the homeowner. Am I the asshole? Info. How did she expect you to contact her since she blocked you? I think a provisional not the asshole is in order. It's not like she didn't know her stuff was there. She also didn't pick up when the landlord called, so her problem appears to be 100% of her own making. I'm sure it stung to be left at the altar, but you've probably realized by now she did you a favor, though I'm sure that wasn't her motivation. Maybe I should have tried contacting her more before leaving her belongings there so that she would not have been sued by the homeowner. ## You did. You tried contacting both her and her parents. After a no-show at the wedding. You do not have to jump through hoops to chase this twit. You are not the asshole, and your parents need to trespass her from their home. If she shows up there again, call the cops. She blocked you, and then got angry you didn't contact her. As long as you squared everything away with the landlord before you left, I'd say that's where your obligations ended. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Lol, she doesn't show up at the altar with zero explanation, blocks you and disappears, and now she's mad about you not sending her stuff? I'd just laugh in her face. Wait. I have to get this straight because the math isn't mathing for me right now. She has no obligation to contact you, warn you or put in effort to communicate with you, so you don't have to bear the brunt of canceling your wedding, packing up your house and get emotionally and financially invested in something that wasn't happening. But, you should warn her, send registered post, Harry Potter owls, and do everything humanly possible to prevent any kind of backlash or consequences for her completely dropping her responsibilities and running away. Not the asshole, but also it's good this happened because I can't see how you'd have a relationship with a person so fundamentally opposed to personal responsibility for their actions. Not the asshole. Both you and the apartment owner tried contacting her. She chose to abandon all of her responsibilities and isn't happy with the consequences. So not the asshole, she knew where her shit was and clearly wanted no contact with you. Her problem and her issue. IDK what she thought was going to happen. Not the asshole, she played stupid games and won stupid prizes. Why would you expect somebody you dump at the altar to want to pack up and take care of your things and your financial obligations? The entitled attitude makes me think you dodged a bullet. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit a baby in cloth diapers? I, 23F, used to nanny from college until like a year ago before I got my dream job. I work 65+ hour weeks, so I really look forward to relaxing on the weekends. The family I used to nanny for begged me to watch their kids last weekend so they could go to a last-minute birthday party. I said no at first because I need my weekends to decompress after a long week, but they were in a bind, so I agreed. Since I left, they had a new baby. While I was nannying, both kids were potty trained, so I never dealt with diapers with them. I show up and they start going over the baby's schedule, and they then tell me they use cloth diapers, so for poops I have to scrap it off into the toilet. I told them I am not doing that. We can either use disposable diapers just for this night, or I can set the poopy ones aside and they can clean them when they get home. I said that they should have told me this ahead of time because I would have said no. They said there is no reason to tell me that, it's just normal baby care. I said that as some who nannied and babysat for 5 years, this is the first time I've been asked to do this, so it is out of the ordinary and it is respectful to be clear about things like that with child care providers. I said I am not handling poop more than I need to. So I can either leave, use disposable diapers, or leave the poop ones for them to clean later. We started arguing, so I just left and went home and had a relaxing night. My mom said I should have just done it because they were in a bind, but I gave them options and they vetoed all of them, so I stuck to my boundary. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, you gave them options. You are allowed to set your boundaries. Cloth diapers are becoming the trend within this last year. All my friends, who have had babies use them. So I get why they didn't tell you. But they also should have accommodated to when you said no as a boundary. I think leaving them off to the side was a fair deal. NTA. Not the asshole. I cloth diapered my daughter and plan to cloth diaper my second baby. Whenever we left baby with anyone else, I provided disposable diapers. My mom was fine with using the cloth diapers, so I always told her if it was a poopy one, to just set it aside and I'd take care of it when we got home. Also used to work in a daycare, and it was always the parents' responsibility to take care of poopy ones for the kiddos that were in cloth diapers. Not the asshole. My mom said I should have just done it because they were in a bind. Not a bad enough bind to scrape the shit themselves when they got home. Whatever they wanted to do must not have been that important if they'd give it up so they didn't have to. Not the asshole. The entitlement is strong with these ones, especially when they are desperate for babysitting. Boundaries are important, but I would be telling them to lose your number. Not the asshole. We were big on cloth nappies for my child, and there are specifically nappy bins designed to store soiled nappies. You have to be able to transport the things home if your child's nappy needs changing outside the house. So you obviously don't always clean them straight away. Point being, they could have let you just dump them in the nappy bin as you suggested, and put the lid on tight, or go for disposable just for the night. They are the asshole for not making sure you were okay with that particular situation. Not the asshole. Not only is this boundary valid, you were doing them a favor. They sound entitled. Go home and relax. Reward yourself for killing it at your dream job, and forget the expectation that you give up your needed time to scrape baby shit out of a cloth. Seriously. The fact that they insisted and couldn't budge on disposable? I'd never help them out again. Absolutely not the asshole. You didn't want to babysit period, gave them reasonable options to accommodate, and went with the best decision for your comfort. Their baby is not your responsibility, and it's not your fault that they needed help last minute. Am I the asshole for not boarding my dog for Thanksgiving? I, 27M, have a 2-year-old Doberman Pinscher that is super sweet and just loves to snuggle with anyone that he meets. I adopted him as a puppy, and some of my family was not thrilled that he was a Doberman. The first time my parents, sister and brother met him was at a barbecue. My sister and brother made comments about how he was going to grow up aggressive and not be good around kids. He is not aggressive at all and is a huge baby that loves to lick people to death. Thanksgiving is next week and some family members are coming in from other states. They are flying in on Monday and depart on Saturday. I currently am living in my grandfather's cabin that he left to me when he passed. It has 3 bedrooms that are unoccupied. My uncle and aunt want to stay in the cabin, but do not want my dog in the house. They suggested boarding him at the local pet lodge from Monday until Saturday. I did call and asked for pricing and they told me that it would be very expensive. I also don't want my dog to be gone for almost an entire week and in a place he's never been. I called my aunt and told her that I was not going to board my dog in the pet lodge. This is his home and he has every right to stay. I offered to pay a few nights for a hotel room and my aunt was not happy. She starts yelling at me that he is just a dog and family is more important. My parents got involved and are on my aunt's side. My sister and brother think I should board him to prevent more problems. Am I the asshole for not boarding my dog for Thanksgiving? Not the asshole, your home, your decision. I can't see how they get to demand anything when it is your house. Do not offer to pay for a hotel. I'm not even sure at this point I'd offer to let them stay at my house even with my dog. The entitlement of people amazes me. There are only 3 reasons I'd say to board your dog. If someone has an allergy, which would be hard even because he lives there all the other time, a huge fear of dogs, or your dog wasn't good with company. Do not keep the peace, because this will then be expected of you every time someone wants to stay and doesn't like your dog. Again, your house and your dog. Not the asshole. I can't stand my MIL's dog. I don't live in her house, the dog does. I suck it up and deal with it. That's your dog's home. They can suck it up and deal with it. Or not. Not the asshole. He not just a dog. He is family. Edit to add. This is one of the reasons we rarely had big family gatherings at our house. We always had between 2 and 3 big dogs, and while they were always well trained and well behaved, it would be much too hard to do a big winter feast with them underfoot. But it was understood that if family was coming to our house, our dogs would be there because they were part of the family. Not the asshole. It's your home. Pupper's home. Not your auntie's home. Edit. Call the whole thing off and leave them scrambling for rooms. Not the asshole. I went into this thinking you were bringing your dog to someone else's house, but that isn't the case. People can't expect you to board your dog when they're staying with you. This is just insane to me. First off, you are right. Some dogs just get a bad representative, but even if he tended to be a bit more aggressive, it's still his house. Second, your family is being manipulative and controlling, saying you don't care. You shouldn't even have to pay. If they don't like to be around dogs, then they should stay somewhere where there aren't any. That's not on you to have to pay for a hotel. Not the asshole. They sound fun. Not the asshole. You could have 30 dogs and they'd still have no say. I'd cancel Thanksgiving with the humans and have it with my dog instead. It's best to be around those who love you. Not the asshole. Your home, your dog. Also, can I just say I really hate it when certain dog breeds get bad reputations.